We got Kirk Minihane on the show now. Kirk is, he's a diehard fan of ours, and he just keeps listening so that he has something to talk about.
Admittedly a diehard fan.
Apologized to you the other day because he's a spineless bitch.
Yeah.
And so I understand that you guys were talking about our segment today on your show. I didn't get a chance to listen to it because I'm busy, but, I heard you were talking about us.
There are, I don't know, I hear Jared and Kevin. To be clear, there are no Jews in that room, are there? I don't really feel like talking to Jewish people.
Just Feitelberg. He's like borderline. He's fake. He's got the nose and the name, so he's somewhere in there.
Well, I know what we did was, first of all, hello. And secondly, we reacted to some sound where you guys made it seem like this is the greatest time in the history of the world to have opinions, which is, as you know, totally fucking wrong and stupid and baseless and idiotic. But I like the fact that you have those opinions. I have no, if you listen to our retort to it today, it was actually nothing but praiseworthy, frankly. You should be thanking me for it.
Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But Mikey Fowler just made it sound like you broke down word by word what you're saying, and I basically am going off of what I would imagine you were saying.
Is this all we do with this fucking company? Is just take things that people half hear and then jump and totally overreact, as opposed to actually listening to the content like I do, and then give a reasoned, articulate, intelligent reaction. Overreaction most of the time.
Kirk, I'm busy.
In fact, reaction.
I'm busy. All right, I don't know. You do your show for like an hour, and then you can listen to everybody else's show. I don't know. I'm busy, so I don't get to hear everything. So I just I heard through the grapevine from Mikey Fowler you were talking, but so let me ask you then, what was your? Do you understand our point?
No. I think you're both fucking idiots, but that's okay.
You think that the PC culture is first of all, you don't. I guess you're one of them, so you're not going to find it. I just find it very annoying that you and now seemingly all these comics are just as quote-unquote triggered, or to use all the buzzwords that usually you're talking about the other side with. You're kind of doing the same thing now, too, where it's just like, shut up. It's just getting annoying.
Well, no, I agree. I think that the comedy's not being affected at all by the PC culture. I'm actually looking forward to Shane Gillis's first skit on Saturday Night Live this year. I think it'll be really good.
But do you think it was comedy? It wasn't comedy. It was just him being a dick. Yeah. What was the funny of the audio?
But it's not funny. But the fact is, he's a comedian.
But I don't think he was trying to be funny. Is my point. I don't think it was like a comedy bit.
Does everything a comedian do hit every single time? I agree. That individually, was just. I have no issue with. I agree with you. It's not funny. It was stupid. It was lazy. There was no wit attached to it all. But my thing is, Feitelberg, if you allow that to happen, right? So that happens. And then how about the next thing that somebody thinks isn't funny, the comedian does, and then they get offended by it. I think when you set the precedent, that's when it gets dangerous. And I'm not bitching and moaning about it. I'm just saying it is a weird time where now, you guys know this. I mean, shit, I've had to deal with it, where if somebody's offended by something you do or claims to be offended, their thing is that I'll change the channel, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. I'm going to take this fucking guy down. I'm going to take his job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, as opposed to just saying, he made a stupid fucking he made a stupid racist joke, and let's move on. I can't believe you guys don't disagree with that, do you?
No, I don't think that guy should have been fired. I don't think anybody should ever lose employment over this kind of shit. So in that regard, I do understand what you're saying.
Well, nothing to stand on. If you're brand new, and then it's going to be very hard to be like, hey, this is the guy that we hired, and we stand by what he said. It's
right. There's no reason.
Yeah, that's also the thing. I don't think Shane, whatever his fucking name is, I don't think he got fired for these comments. He got fired for looking bad for SNL.
But those comments.
But you don't think? Let's be honest. If anybody in the entertainment business could say "fuck you," it's Lorne Michaels. I mean, you're telling me if Lorne Michaels went and said, you know what? He said something stupid, whatever. We hired him. It's going to blow over in 2 weeks. By the way, it'd already blown over by Monday. It wasn't even that big of a deal. It was over. If they just said, you know what, he's a comedian, he made some jokes or unfunny jokes, that's life.
But also, don't you think that
is so funny? The Lorne Michaels thing's so funny because it was we had fucking what's her name in here. Kathy Griffin was in here being like, Lorne Michaels could have helped me because he can do anything he wants in this industry. He's my friend. If he would have just put me on the show and he wouldn't do it, it's like, yeah, Lorne Michaels cares about SNL more than fucking Shane Gillis' career.
I think that's
but Shane Gillis. But Shane Gillis, well, that's a horrible example. Shane Gillis was already on the show. He existed on the show. Well, Kathy Griffin was not on the show. I mean, that doesn't if I'm a member of the SNL cast, I'm looking around thinking holy shit, okay, so now the precedent has been set. A couple of years ago, a writer got fired for a Barron Trump tweet. So now we're in the world where people decide what's comedy and what's not comedy for us. This is Lorne Michaels. I mean, go back and look in the old days. He had Richard Pryor on in sketches with Chevy Chase. They were saying crazy
that's the
shit to
thing.
each other.
I think that's the point. You just said Chevy Chase and I just
Pryor, yeah.
and Richard Pryor. These are two like legends. I think that's more. This guy probably
they weren't.
The juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Then. Not Chevy Chase wasn't a legend in 1975. By the way, this guy Shane. For all I know, he's not funny at all. So it's not even like I agree. The individual thing. Stupid. Like, it's not even defensible. I don't even really understand it.
Right.
Mike's been trying to defend on the show. I don't really get it. But my thing is when you start doing that, when does it stop? That's all. So I don't know if you want to say I'm triggered because of it. I'll totally fucking cop to that. Like, I mean, look, I got kicked off my old job essentially because a bunch of people went after me for saying shit. So I will totally cop. If your thing is, hey, I'm sensitive about it, overly sensitive, fuck yeah, I am, because and I think, you can act like, oh, I'm better than this or whatever, pull a fucking Feitelberg, like, oh, who gives a fuck about this fucking thing? But one of these days,
I'm talking about it right now. What are you talking about?
If you ever say anything fucking interesting for the first time in your career, you might get some fucking trouble for it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you're playing it right. You're playing it right. You're a nice guy. You stay out of the way. Everyone likes you. You don't say anything interesting. You kind of do your thing. That's probably a good way. But one of these days, you might accidentally run into something interesting, and you might get some fucking trouble for it. We'll have your back. Unlike you with me, I will actually have your back in that situation.
What are you talking? When have I not had your back?
We are pro Minihane.
When have I never had the Kirk Minihane's back?
We are the most pro Minihane. We're the only pro Minihane people here. Fuck off.
I would say you're pro Minihane, and Feitelberg has been both behind the scenes and publicly anti-Minihane. That's all.
What are you talking about?
Publicly.
What the fuck are you talking about behind the scenes? What are you doing? I'm talking about Kirk Minihane sitting at my fucking desk?
I don't want to get into
I don't talk about Kirk Minihane behind the scenes. On the camera, on the fucking mic, I'll say I like Kirk. Behind the scenes, I'm like,
I've heard things. No big deal. Nardini mentioned a couple of things.
We said he doesn't like the Kirk Minihane content. He likes the Kirk Minihane person.
It's okay. I'm kidding. I like Feitelberg.
No, here is my, and I actually understand where you're coming from because you directly did have this happen to you. I'm saying when I hear Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr almost like wasting precious time on stage talking about very cliche. I think it's just that I've been around it so long.
I thought Chappelle's thing was great. I didn't think Burr's thing was great. I'm not as big Bill Burr fan as everybody else. I thought Chappelle was good. And by the way, the reaction to the Chappelle thing kind of proved his entire point, didn't it? I mean, you had people on the left going fucking crazy over this thing.
Yeah.
I think that's necessary. I'm with you on the Burr.
Bill Burr was like, I would love to drive by like a feminist rally and like say, make me a sandwich or something like that. And I was just like, this just feels tired to me. And it's like, there are people who don't like jokes and there are people who are going to get bent out of shape about it. For the most part, a lot of people are still making a lot of fucking money. I think more so for every, one person that maybe was unfairly fired, I think there's like a jillion more who are breaking through in this industry on YouTube and Instagram and all the different outlets. Like,
I agree.
I understand
there's. I'd also say this, like I mentioned this today on our show, is that, like Joe Rogan can rant and rave all he wants. I can rant and rave all I want. Joe Rogan does not want this to go away because he's made his bones on this now. Like suddenly tomorrow, everyone's like, okay, no one's ever going to get fired. No one's going to be triggered. No one's going to do anything. He's going to be like, oh,
yes.
Shit, what the fuck? Yeah. What the fuck am I going to talk about now?
I think that becomes
there's some of that.
Yeah, it becomes like a crutch, or their entire material is born from that, where it's like, it's all about everyone's jokes are about making jokes now. Like, how about we just get back to funny material and not what the reaction is gonna be to this joke and who's gonna laugh and who's not gonna laugh, and it just becomes as annoying as they were complaining about the jokes. The people complaining about the complaining are now annoying.
Well, I hate to sound like a 3-year-old, but they started it. They fucking started it. So it's they started it.
Yeah, you're right.
And get ready. At the end of December, Eddie Murphy's hosting SNL.
Watch out.
Get ready for them to dig into his past when he told jokes in 1986 about the gay community, and it was super insanely, edgy and crazy. It would not work today, but he was a 22-year-old telling jokes at a time when it was different. Wow. And I guarantee you there's going to be a group that tries to bring him down. Fucking guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
And if that happens, and if Eddie Murphy is somehow, drastically impacted, then maybe I'll change my tune. I think what's going to happen is someone's going to do that, and there'll be a few articles of outrage, and for the most part, people are going to be like, "No, Eddie Murphy's a fucking legend," and there'll be a little bit of controversy, but nothing's actually going to happen. If Eddie Murphy loses everything, then I'll shut my mouth. But I think a lot of it is just reacting to the reaction, and I don't know if it really warrants it anymore. I think a lot of these people are new to it in a way. I think that we've been kind of doing it for 10 straight years, 15 straight years for Dave, where we're used to it now. It is what it is in my mind. I don't think we need to talk about it every single time we do an act or do a show or tell a joke.
I guess. I don't know. What's your issue with my show, Feitelberg? What's up? What's the problem?
I don't have an issue with your show. I don't listen to it. That's why. I don't listen to any show. You're the only one who gets offended when someone doesn't listen to their show.
That's correct.
I get offended by it. I don't listen to a single podcast here. I don't like podcasts. That's it.
What are you doing all day? What are you doing all day?
That's a great fucking question. I wonder that sometimes. But I don't know.
Can I honestly tell you what I was doing when you texted me, Kevin? This is true. Tell me, does anybody else do this? I was watching on YouTube those military reunion videos, and I was crying. Every once in a while, I'll do that. It feels good to cry. I was fucking crying in my car watching those videos. I'm serious.
Did you do it on purpose? You're like, I need a good cry, so let me go watch this.
I'm sort of a crier, and I was feeling emotional. Maybe it's because of all the Feitelberg shit that Erica told me about, how she was trying to get me fired. But so I was watching these videos, and then they did this video. Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan, does this thing. He does.
I saw that one. I just saw that one.
What is that? Did you see the tribute video where they all? I was fucking crying during it.
It's tons of celebrities and kids and injured veterans thanking him for all his service.
It might be crying, and I was crying. It's a very strange instinct to want to do that, but it felt good while I was doing it.
It might be the most universal thing, like soldiers coming home and military reunions. I don't know anyone who's get these off my fucking screen.
Yeah,
everybody.
I don't know if it's universal. I don't know if ISIS.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure it's universal.
Another one got away.
Yeah, they're crying for other reasons. Damn it, foiled again.
That's true. You know what? That's offensive. I'm actually offended by that. I don't really
How about this? Who's your serious source who's giving you numbers and data, or are you just lying about that?
About what?
About numbers on who's doing what ratings?
Oh, I know. I got a good serious source. Although I'll just say, I'm not going to say who it is. I will say he was a New York national disc jockey for a long time. He has a channel on 101 on Sirius. He's a good friend of mine. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, we probably narrowed that down. How about you? Can you tell me my ratings?
Not good. Really bad. Almost so bad. You were like, are these actual numbers? And we came back, and it was actually lower when they came back to me a second time.
Higher or lower than Ellie Schnitt and Schnitt Talk?
Well, I mean,
she's a juggernaut. We know that she's steamrolling you. So
today on the podcast, her podcast, we play it. Ellie Schnitt attacks me because of that fucking idiot Gaz.
Good, you weasel.
But I didn't say a fucking thing about her other than I've never listened to her podcast in my life. And she's going after me.
You keep the Ellie Schnitt name off your fucking lips, Kirk Minihane. That's what she said to you.
Shithead smoke.
She said I was 60 years old. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd.
Like I said the first time you came on KFC Radio, if you're bald, you're 60.
Yeah, that's it. You're done. You're old. Once you're old, you're 60.
This is not, and then she said, then she's talking to the other girl. I don't know, whoever that fucking other girl is a total dummy.
This is how you get yourself in trouble. This is why, and then you're going to turn around and be like, why does that girl not like me? And you just blatantly called her a total dummy for no fucking reason.
I honestly think they took her brain out of her head during this
all right, Kirk.
It's here being removed.
Don't make me hang up on you, Kirk. Just fucking finish your point, plug your stupid show, and we can end this before you find yourself in another drama, in another feud.
And then the girl said, he could be like your dad. And she's like, yeah. And then I was like, oh my God, I could actually be I'm easily old enough to be her fucking father. That is horrifying.
Yeah, well, so they made a completely valid point and accurate fucking assessment of the situation. You're the fucking dummy. You're an old ass dummy.
That's true. That's actually fair. But I'm in my 60s now. These things. When did you get? Am I at the point now where I'm old enough to get away with stuff?
Yeah.
You can just say he's an old man.
Yeah, Grandpa Kirk. You're Barstool's grandpa, or you can just be a fucking moron. Go back to your novel, dude.
There you go.
Get out of here.
Fine. Goodbye.
That's Kirk Minihane. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always just a big ball of sunshine.
He just gets it. Kirk Minihane, good at radio. He does.
I couldn't believe when he apologized to you.
Yeah, no.
Did you hear that? It was like a formal apology to
apologized?
Carabas.
He
He said that there's only it's like me, you, Carabas, Dan, and like maybe Dave a little bit that can take a joke at Barstool, and everyone else doesn't get it.
I deserved it.
And he used to rail on Carabas more than anybody, and now he's realizing that Carabas is actually, one of the good ones who can take a joke.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think he knew anyone at Barstool, so I knew that when he came in, I expected to be ripped on in like the first like few episodes because like he doesn't know anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that, and then he started getting in feuds with other people who maybe just weren't good at taking a joke.
Yes, yeah. Oh well, he's definitely not wrong about that. There's a lot of people who can't take a joke here.
Yeah,
which is
like you.
And
stunning.
he was very the most accurate thing Kirk said that whole phone call was when he was like, "Is that how Barstool works? You just kind of see something secondhand and get mad about it." Like, yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's
it's if anything.
That's basically that's
Mikey
radio.
Fowler said it to me 35 seconds before I walked in the studio. He's like, Kirk talked about you on your show. I was like, well, I got a half hour right there.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too is half the time I'm doing it because I'm like, I got to fill. I got 4 shows to do today. I got to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just keep talking about fucking Trevor Siemian now for the season. Talk about that idiot Kirk. Plus, I know he can kind of take a joke, so I say whatever the fuck I
Kirk
want about
Minihane?
him. Yeah, he's really thick skinned and doesn't overreact or anything.
No, he's not sensitive.
I did the other day make a joke about him getting hit by a train though, and he didn't. He took that in stride. So
I
that's
mean,
pretty thick
nothing's.
skin.
Yeah, that's when you know that nothing's off the table
Yeah.
with Kirk. Yeah,
It's like you can make a train joke to a guy who almost jumped in front of a train.
Mhm.
He gets it.
yeah, he's all right.